You unlock your phone for what feels like a single second, only to realize 40 minutes have disappeared. You weren't even trying to watch anything. You just wanted to check one notification, but somehow your mind gets trapped in an endless loop of scrolling. And when you finally stop, you don't feel rested or entertained. You feel mentally drained. That's when I realized something alarming. My brain had become addicted to frictionless dopamine. Most people are no longer scrolling for enjoyment. They're scrolling to escape boredom, stress, silence, or even their own thoughts. Our phones have quietly become emotional anesthesia. What makes this habit dangerous is how invisible it has become. Most of us don't consciously decide to pick up our phones anymore. It happens automatically. Instagram, YouTube, notifications. Our hands move before our minds even catch up. So I began asking myself one simple question every time I reached for my phone. Why am I picking this up right now? If it was to reply to someone or check something important, I would do it and leave. But the moment you open your phone without intention, you hand your attention over to the algorithm, and it knows exactly how to keep you hooked. That's why 5 minutes quickly turns into 50, leaving your brain exhausted for no real reason. One of the biggest changes that helped me was making my phone less stimulating. I turned on grayscale and disabled almost all notifications. Suddenly, my phone stopped demanding my attention every few minutes. That's when I understood how aggressively apps are designed to overstimulate the brain. Bright colors, red notification badges, and infinite scrolling feeds are all built to compete for your focus. Every swipe gives your brain a tiny dopamine hit, reinforcing the habit. But once my screen became black and white, those apps immediately felt less addictive and less emotionally gripping. Still, making my phone boring wasn't enough. I also had to make distraction harder to access. I realized that willpower alone is unreliable, because if your phone is always nearby, eventually you'll reach for it automatically. So instead of constantly fighting temptation, I created barriers. I removed social media apps from my phone and only used them on my laptop. I stopped keeping my phone beside me all the time, sometimes leaving it in another room or inside a drawer. That small physical distance made a bigger difference than I expected, because addiction thrives on convenience. The harder something is to access, the less automatic the behavior becomes. Another thing I realized is that most people don't truly rest anymore. They simply switch from one form of stimulation to another. They work for a while, then immediately start scrolling, believing it's a break. But that isn't real rest, because the brain is still consuming information and staying overloaded. Over time, we become so uncomfortable with silence that the moment life gets quiet, we instinctively reach for stimulation. But genuine rest is different. Sometimes your mind needs silence, a walk, stillness, or simply doing nothing at all. Because if your brain never slows down, it never fully recovers. Your phone is not only stealing your time, it's slowly stealing your attention. And once you take that attention back, everything in your life begins to change.